Hello everybody, I'm Brian from Orchids by Brian, and today I am back at Little Brook Orchids. Check out this shirt. Thank you so much, Trey, for that. But we're back at Little Brook Orchids. We're going to check out all the amazing plants that they have in bloom this time of the year. So with that, here we go. Let's go check out Little Brook Orchids. Alrighty, here we are at Little Brook, right here in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And Little Brook has quite a few beautiful plants in bloom this time of year. Let's start off with this wonderful little Bulbophyllum. Really, really cute. This is a Peristeria or Bulbophyllum auratum. Check out those flowers. Very cool. Here's some Oncidium blooms as well. Wonderful blush pink. That yellow lip. Let's see. Oncidium twinkle. White shower. Very nice. We also have a Hibernaria. Just starting to flower. Wonderful Hibernaria. Let's see if we can get the name here. There we go. Species Hibernaria rotacilla. Check out all the blooms coming on this guy. Very unique orange on those flowers. Here's a beautiful Dendrobium, antelope Dendrobium. Green and purple. So nice. This is really pretty. Love those flowers. They are so cool. Here it is. Dendrobium nivella. 808 orchids. And also this Nobly Dendrobium as well. Nice purple color. Really, really good bloom. This is definitely the season for Dendrobiums. I'm going to see a lot of beautiful Dendrobiums here at Little Brook. Including, look at this beautiful flower. My gosh, wonderful pastel purple color. Look at that. And a huge plant too. Super, super nice. Let's go over on the other side and see what the name is on this guy. There it is. Dendrobium Meto Blue Coltana. Wow. Gosh, gorgeous flowers. Now, up here we have a little vanda in bloom. It's a Vanda tessellata. Species vanda. Wonderful fragrance. Delicious floral fragrance. Very strong. Smells like fruit punch. And here's the name of that. Whoops. My gosh. There we go. Tessellata Fuchs Lemonade. That's a warded plant. Here's another Vanda. Vanda Green Light. Christiansoniana Vietnamica by Falcata. Variation Armani. And here's the blooms. How different. I really like the nectar spires that come off of these. It reminds me of an Angrecum. Here's some nice Oncidium. Gosh, look at that. This is pretty. So nice. You can see they have quite a few available. Here's another wonderful plant. This looks like possibly a sherry babied to me. It's, the fragrance does have that sweet chocolatey fragrance. It sure is. Oncidium sherry baby, sweet fragrance. Delicious chocolate fragrance on this Oncidium. You're looking for a wonderfully fragrant plant for your collection. Check out the size of these flowers here. Huge. Huge, huge flowers. A lot more on the way. There's the name of this guy. This is an HCCAOS award-winning orchid. And here's another Dendrobium. Deep purple color. Nice white accents. Really nice. Let's see the name of this guy. There it is. And now here, incredible Cattlea on its way, blooming. It's going to have 4 huge flowers. What a crisp white bloom. Let's see, this guy looks better to me. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful Cattlea. This guy is Cattlea Hawaiian Wedding. Maybe Hawaiian Wedding Prominence. Not sure. Can't pull the tag out because it's pretty deep in there, but what a plant. Now we have even more Cattleyas over here. Check out this Cattlea maxima. Really nice. Not sure if this is just a young plant, but it's pretty compact growing. I know there are some maxima that are actually compact growers. Really beautiful purple flowers. The lip, of course, on Cattlea maxima is iconic. Here's another wonderful Cattlea here. This is a Walkeriana cerulea by LC. Hawaiian bonnet. It's definitely got some Walkeriana in it. You can tell by that lip. This one also has a wonderful floral fragrance that reminds me of roses. And there's the name. Okay. Here's a wonderful plant. Dark colored flowers with an even dark colored lip. Nice purple, definitely got some Brassavola in it. Several blooms. Really nice. Let's see, this is BC Star Ruby. And here are more of those Oncidiums we saw a little while ago, as well as some more Dendrobiums. The nice cerulea blue purple color. And check this one out. That's a beautiful plant too. Really, really nice. Now, of course, also here at Little Brook, they have several tropical plants. These are also for sale. They have beautiful, beautiful plants available. Check out this bromeliad that's in flower right now. Look at that. Really, really nice. All right, now let's go over on to the other side. This is the white dove orchid. Now look in the center of that bloom. Look at that. The lip looks like a little dove. How cool is that? And look at all these blooms here. Really nice. I love this orchid. It is a large bloom, but again, it definitely looks like a dove. That is so neat. You can see how tall that plant is. Let's see if it has a name. I can show you here. There we go. Peristeria elata. Wonderful plant. Love those blooms. So pretty. Okay, now over here on the other side we have some of their Paphiopedilums and Phragmipediums. Here's a wonderful Phragmipedium. They have specimen plants here that you can purchase at Little Brook. This is Fragrant by Sorcerer's Apprentice. Really nice. I really like this flower here. Look at this. Look at this beautiful frag. Trey and the team here at Little Brook are awesome, I have to say. If you're ever in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, or in the DCPA, Maryland, definitely stop in. They have such unique plants here. Look at this guy. Wow, that is nice. Paphiopedilum. Wonderful plant. Look at those blooms. But anyway, yeah, stop in. They have a great variety of orchids here. All different types of blooms. They really have something for everyone. I honestly mean that. If you like Paphiopedilum, Phragmipedium, Oncidium, Monstera, pleurothalids, Phalaenopsis, Cattleyas, this is a place to stop by. And for people like me who are growing orchids mounted, they have mounted orchids, and we'll see many of those as we continue on through the shop. Now, I don't think I've ever stopped in here, but this is where they sell a lot of their plants, or their pots and supplies. You can see Cassidy over there. There she is. Enjoying her seat. She's got her Little Brook Orchids shirt on. Look at that. So nice. We love it. And then over here they have a wall full of blooms. More Dendrobiums, Oncidiums, Cattleyas, of course that white dove orchid, Peristeria elata. And delicious fragrances too all around. So, all right, now we're going to go for a walk over to see more of their blooms. But again, let's check out some of the pots that they have here and supplies. If you need moss poles for some of the climbing varieties, bark, all different size bark, perlite, charcoal. Look at this, great stuff. Any supplies you need, you can get here at Little Brook. All right, well, let's head inside. All right, now we're over here, and they have several oncidiums in this greenhouse. Not much for blooms, but again, you can just take a peek at a variety of orchids they have available. The one great thing about Little Brook is they have photos for just about every variety that they have. So you can see a picture of the bloom even if the plant's not blooming at the time that you purchase. So it's really, really great. One thing I love about this place, they make it easy for folks to pick out the plants that you want. Now looking up there, I wanted to highlight this monster. Look at that. Oh my gosh. That's a Laelia dayana. The mother plant, Laelia dayana. Look at those blooms. What a beautiful orchid that is. I love Laelia dayana. It does grow like a weed. Spectacular flowers. Now here's a beautiful oncidium I'm going to highlight here. Look at that flower there. Isn't that pretty? Let's see if we can zoom in a little bit more. Get a better view. Oncidium Marfitch Howard's Dream, and they have several in bud and spike. Here's some more beautiful oncidiums. Look at this. Lots of blooms there. Nice. Now down this way we have more Dendrobium, Dendrobium forbesii, variation alba, Dendrobium farmeri. None of which in bloom at this time, but that's okay. Still give you a look at these Roy Takunaga spots. And some more towering Dendrobiums. Look at those, gosh. And check out up here, I think that's a Dendrobium Wallisii or Wallisi. Look at the size of that specimen. I don't know if I can zoom in on the flowers. I'm going to zoom in as much as I can. Yeah, I guess I can show you the blooms pretty well. Check that out. That is a huge, huge specimen. Really, really cool. All right. Let's keep on moseying through. Little Brook. Spotless Orchid Nursery. Here's a standard Phalaenopsis. Highlight that bloom. Can't go wrong with these beauties. All right, let's keep going. Show you some more orchids in bloom here at Little Brook. Here's the potting shed. Now down this way, this is in that same house, but the other side, they have some epidendrum species that are in bloom over here. But before we go any further, I want to highlight again some of the mounted orchids that they have, and we actually have some blooms to highlight. Here's a Schnorchus fragrans. Look at that, how small. I actually like their Schnorchus fragrans. I'm not sure if it's just because it's a little bit smaller than mine, but the flowers are different. I like the white. Very, very cool. All right. Anyway, back this way. Epidendrums and Ingrecum species that they have over on this side. And then they have some other unique orchids. Check this flower out. How weird is this? Look at those blooms. How different. This is a Rhobiquedia serena. Variety pink. We also have the yellow variety as well. Let's see if I can get this in there. There we go. But how different. And of course over here they have some Shamiangus, which I highlighted, I believe, on my last nursery tour of Little Brook. But I love their selection of Arangus and wonderful species. Mesiella monticola. I think we're getting into their blooming season in late or in fall time, so we'll hopefully be seeing more of them. Here's another wonderful Oncidium Aka Baby Raspberry Chocolate. Okay, now down this way, as you can see, more Dendrobium, Dendrobium anceps, Pseudolamelatum, Platycolon, Tangerine Dream, Maniliforme, Kingianum, all different varieties. But here's some more of those blooms. Check out these flowers, everybody. Wow. These are beautiful. Just a sea of Dendrobiums. Super, super nice. Here's a antelope variety. Now over here we have some Encyclia, Prostechia green hornet, Arides and Geridis. Like I said, not much for blooms over here. Here's some more of those Hibernarias that we saw earlier. The Rhoticella, that's in bud. We saw some in bloom a little earlier on. And even some Dendrobium lavifolium, just about to bloom. These blooms look somewhat of Cuthbertsoni, which I have, but they're more warmth tolerant. So if you're looking for a warmth tolerant Dendrobium that reminds of Dendrobium Cuthbertsoni, that is a great option. They have them here at Little Brook. Again, look at this, gosh. Dendrobiums of all kinds for everyone to enjoy here on this tour. These are stunning. Absolutely stunning. Okay, now down here we have a couple more blooms to show you. Here's a Sigmorchus pusilla. Check out these little flowers. They look like the dancing lady orchids. So cute. Look at that, fan-like leaves. Again, that's Sigmorchus pusilla. And then down here, more Dendrobium varieties. And then Leptotes. Leptotes bicolor, unicolor. Polypnicoi, and then that Docrylia wessellii over there, which is that monster specimen that you can see up there. So if you're looking for one of those, you can grow it to be a specimen plant like they have here at Little Brook. Okay, now we're going to go over to the next greenhouse, which is where they grow many of their Bulbophyllum and Cattleya orchids. And they have some beautiful Cattleyas in bloom this time of year. But let's start by the Bulbophyllums. Don't want to get ahead of myself too much. Again, lots of Bulbophyllums, lots of options. Bulbophyllum Elizabethan Buckleberry, of course, iconic Bulbophyllum orchid, known for those beautiful flowers, and it will be coming into bloom anytime now. And they are so, so nice. Bulbophyllum falcatum, Calipes. Really nice stuff. But you can see, look at the size. These plants are beautiful. Vanilla planifolia. Here's some Cattlea, why not, red. Check these guys out. These are wonderful orchids. I have a hybrid in my collection, and they grow so well. Again, that's this guy here. Well, why not? Now, I do want to take a step back over here and highlight B.C. Richard Mueller. Wonderful orange flowers. A Brassavola hybrid. They have really nice quality plants available right now. And then this is one that I'm super excited about picking up today. Laelia Diana. Species Laelia, known for these wonderful little Cattleya flowers. Boy, they have a ton in bloom this time of year. This is their blooming season. Trying to find a good bloom that's fresh. This one looks pretty good. Oh yeah, this one's really good. Check that out. How pretty. And the plants that you can pick up right now are in spike and bud, some in flower. Really, really nice. $35 for Laelia Diana. Here's the Wanagara Apple Blossom Springtime, the yellow form. You don't see that very often. And of course, Cattleyas are starting to pop pretty soon. You can see the sheaths. This is LC Rojo Valentine's Day. It's got some nice sheaths on the way. Epicatleya Rene Marquis Flamethrower. Iconic. And then here's some of those Cattleya hybrids I was talking about. BLC Robert's Choice. Beverly Blush Calipania. RLC Star Platinum number 2. Which, I mean, look at these. Spotless. And this is in sheath. RLC Magician Red. Marie's Glory, Avery, Hawaiian Charisma. Look at this guy. This is one that Cassidy and I both loved. Look at that. Incredible flares. And look at, we got 3 buds about to pop. That is going to be spectacular. BLC Dan O'Neill, Jubilee. Python Delight. Like I said, some of these in sheath. Over here we have even more varieties that I walked by, so I'm going to take a step back and highlight those, but gosh, so nice. Chief Takanaka. Miss Thailand. Check out those blooms. Oh my God. That's beautiful. Really, really nice. And now I want to highlight this guy over here. I'm going to see if I can turn the flower around so you can see it. Look at this flower. Wow. Talk about an incredible white. 3 blooms, huge, huge flowers. Gorgeous. And now I want to highlight way up here. Look at these guys. Wonderful mini cats in bloom. Wonderful miniature Cattleyas. And I'm going to show you one of those close up in a minute, because they have them in bloom down here. So stay tuned. But Miss Thailand, amazing Bangkok, Cattleya Peccaviensis, amazing Thailand. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Here's Cattleya Small World by S.C. Beaufort. Lots of sheaths and spikes. Here's L.C. final blue. Another wonderful miniature Cattlea. They have lots of mini cats over here. This is where I tend to buy a lot of plants. L.C. Jack's Pride is also a wonderful miniature. L.C. Robert Strait Blue Hawaii. Walkeriana Cerulean. Here's that one you could see high in the rafters. Close up of the bloom. Check that out. L.C. Sapphire Doll. Beautiful stuff. And they have a couple of them potted here if folks are interested. And again, over here we have Ascocentrum species, Miniatum, Curvifolium, and Christiansonianum. No blooms this time of year. And then some Brassavola orchids over here. Check out this vanda up here. So cute. Wonderful. An adorable little bloom. And of course, here's some of their larger cats, and we do have a bloom here that I wanted to highlight. Check that out. Man, that's amazing. Amazing flower. Look at those spots. I'm sure this has a delicious fragrance. It is a bit difficult to smell because it's a little ways away, but what a flower. And then up here, here's a wonderful little vanda bloom. Look at those. A creamsicle, orange-colored vanda. Wonderful flowers. Okay, let's keep on moving down the aisle. See what else we can spot in bloom. Let's see one up here, a Neophinidia. Check that guy out. Nice blooms, huge plant. They have incredible specimens. When you come and visit, make sure you look up, because you'll be surprised at what you might see right above your head. So nice. Okay. Let's continue onward to this side, and we're going to stop in the other last greenhouses in a minute, but over here we have some more vanda tricolor, and some Brassavola. Look at this. Check out those flowers. These are super fragrant at night. Let's see if I can move this to the side and get you the name. There you go. Very fragrant. Lots of Brassavola orchids they have over here. Different varieties. The Star Ruby, which we saw a little bit earlier. Here's another Brassavola in bloom. These Nodosas are great. They can smell your whole house up at night. You smell those flowers. Over here, obviously, some more Cattleyas that are in sheath and in bud. Look at this. Nice bud on the way. RLC Ruby Ace Abe. And then here's another one of those Neophinidias. Another reason to look up. Look at that. So healthy. It's a little bit backlit. I'll try to do another view. Here's Vanda Peaches. Cute little mini Vanda. I feel like this guy blooms all the time. I see him quite often here. Adorable pink flowers. Let's see. This looks like it might be a better view for you all, this guy. Yeah, a little bit better. Check out all those blooms. So nice. All right, more orchids. This is one I really like. Potnara, Lisa Taylor. Love that. And then this is one that Cass loved. Ethel's Paradise in Kalapana. Now, over here, I wanted to highlight a couple more blooms that I was really impressed with. Look at this. Brassavola cucullata. Check out these little flowers. How cute are they? These are sometimes misidentified as appendiculata. The flowers can be tricky to identify definitively, but appendiculata tends to be a little bit more common. Here's another huge vanda. Look at that. Oh, wow. See how close I can zoom in. Oh yeah, nice view. Check out those flowers. That is beautiful. Really nice. Okay. So now we are going to go to the last couple greenhouses, the last two greenhouses, which I have over here. And we'll check out some of the flowers that they have in bloom. They definitely have some nice blooms over here. More of those Dendrobiums, like I said. Look at these. Walk right in. So many blooms. It is definitely Dendrobium season right now. Gosh, these are so pretty. They have such nice stuff here at Little Brook Orchids. Again, if you have the opportunity to stop in and visit Little Brook, you should. They have great stuff, great variety of orchids. Here's Silogene pandorata. Definitely make a visit. They have such great stuff. Here's some more Paphiopedilum. Half Vietnamese, Ho Chi Minh, Spicerianum. Delinatii blooming season is on its way. It's approaching, if not already here. But like I said, they have a really great variety of plants. Here's some multifloral Paphiopedilums over here. No shortage of blooms. Any season you visit. So, even if you don't come immediately after this video is posted, it's okay. You're going to see tons and tons of stuff. Here's some Angrecums and Jumelia. Like I said, lots mounted, some potted. Here is Magdalene, Angrecum Magdalene, Angrecum leonis, Calceolus. Here's Epidendrum porpax, which is a trusty bloomer. It has wonderful little flowers. Maxillaria tenuifolia. No blooms right now. Now over here, here's a wall full of miniatures. Schenorchis varieties. Muracilium trisaturnum, or trinosutum, sorry. Really nice. I'm going to come over on this side. We have more Bulbophyllum, Disiflorum, Denemia palubulbin. Then I just missed this Stanhopea. Probably will bloom tomorrow. Those are wonderful flowers. Here's some species Phalaenopsis celebinense with those mottled Schilleriana type leaves. And of course, some more Bulbophyllums and Dendrobiums. Check out this Dendrobium. Look at this little flower. So tiny. There's the name of that. And then over here we have some nice Phalaenopsis. Check that out. Wow. Super fragrant. Great plants. Lots of blooms. Miro, Red Dragon, Wilson. And then here's a nice little teacup phal between two species, primary hybrid. Christine Magro. And then down here, we have a Tetrapsis. Phalaenopsis Tetrapsis. Super cute. All right, now let's close out the tour in their little secret greenhouse in the corner. This is where their shade-loving, cool-growing species bloom. And I'm going to stop because I almost missed this wonderful Bulbophyllum. Look at this. This is a biflorum. Look at those weird little alien-like flowers. Anyway, here we go down this way. Whoops. Sorry for the shake, everybody. This is where they have lots of different orchids here. This is where the Masdevallias, Dendrobium, Latagesi, some of their jewel orchids. Here's some of those Masdevallias I was talking about earlier. No blooms right now, but they have Pinot Noir and Pinocchio. Here's some Pleurophthalus. Here, Bulbophyllum ambrosia vaginatum, Graveolens, Gongora truncata, which are wonderful plants. I highlighted them first time on the channel last time I was here, but I'm going to go on the other side because I want to highlight my last orchid flower of the tour. Of course, a wonderful little Bulbophyllum. I shouldn't say little, it's a pretty large flowered Bulbophyllum. Here it is. Check it out. Wow. If you're watching this video, pause. Let me know if you can guess the name. I'll give you a few minutes. What could this absolutely stunning Bulbophyllum name be? Sequential bloomer, blooms off of the same stem many, many times. Flowers last a couple of days. Has those bouncy lip that the Bulbophyllums are known for. All right, ready to know the name? Here it is. Bulbophyllum carunculatum. Wonderful, wonderful Bulbophyllum. Large, lots of flowers. Super, super cool plant. There it is. All right, everybody, that's going to conclude my tour of Little Brook Orchids. I hope you enjoyed. They had so many amazing plants that were in bloom this time of year. I always enjoy visiting this nursery. If you're ever in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, definitely stop in. It is worth the visit. And they have amazing plants for beginners to expert growers, everything in between. You will definitely not be disappointed. So with that, thanks so much to Trey. Thanks to the team at Little Brook Orchids. My name is Brian from Orchids by Brian, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.